Hi guys, this is Cece from the K-pop Bible. I know it's been a long time since I've made a new video, but I thought now would be the perfect time to talk about KATSEYE after their Coachella performance. So in this video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the whole Manon situation and their Coachella performance. So let's just get started. So as always, I'm going to put on my headphones. Okay, Megan started the song. Yoonchae is blonde, like me. I really like Laura's voice. Sophia too. Okay, Daniela shaking some ass. Interesting how they're all using a mic because, they're trying to signal to everyone that the mic is on. Yoonchae is really giving it to me this era. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is the kind of song that I would listen to, but I think for a festival, this song works because it just has a larger than life sound. And I think it made sense that they released this song prior to the performance in Coachella. They sound really great live for the high endurance that dance really requires. Not really surprised. I think KATSEYE has evolved as performers on stage. I think, when they first debuted, a lot of that criticism was that a lot of the members were out of breath for, relying on backing tracks. But I think that they have been able to perfect a live performance, especially with the current group that they have now with 5 members. I would have loved to have seen Manon here. I know that she was supposed to be part of this comeback. Apparently, the rehearsals for Pinky Up and the storyboard were released. So, storyboard is basically what the production team uses when they're coming up with a concept for a music video, right? So, it tells a shot by shot breakdown of what they have to record for a music video. So the storyboard ended up leaking, and in some of the stills, you could see that Manon was supposed to be in the music video. And so ever since that leaked, a lot of people said that they had to reshoot the music video without her. I'm not sure whether or not she was actually involved in the music video. I know that prior to this comeback, she was really happy. She was showing a lot of enthusiasm for the upcoming song and for the Coachella performance in general.
We have 10 songs out right now, and Coachella is gonna be, we can't go to Coachella with 10 songs, so.
I think we're not gonna play around. Like, we're gonna give you guys a show. Am I excited for Coachella? I'm beyond excited for Coachella, guys.
According to everything that Manon has been saying, it seems like she was involved in this comeback and that she might have filmed something, but it's not 100% certain because we haven't had those outtakes leaked, right? I know that there was someone on Twitter making a joke how the song that leaked the music video with Jessica should also leak Manon's parts in Pinky Up. And I thought that was really funny, but it's also a joke that you wouldn't understand unless you were a fan of K-pop during second gen, because I don't know if you guys were even alive or if you guys even know what Jessica from Girls' Generation endured. And I remember that because I was into K-pop at that time, right? I got into K-pop during second gen. And so I remember her Weebio post where she was talking about how she didn't even know that she had been kicked out until the news came out. And so there was a lot of backlash because she was one of the most popular members in Girls' Generation. And, her fans were leaking stuff, and they leaked the music video which she originally was included in the lineup, and they reshot. So based on how K-pop companies in the past have moved with members that they've either pushed toward hiatuses or just kicked out, a lot of icons think that the same thing happened with Manon and that she was involved in the recording of the music video. But then obviously with the music video being out, she doesn't seem to appear in any of the shots. Actually, Now that I've seen their Coachella performance, I'm actually really interested in seeing the music video, and I want to see the difference between their live performance and what was in the music video. So I think I'm actually going to react to the music video as well. Okay, I see they're really using that pinky up metaphor with a teacup like that. Oh my god, this hat on Megan, I don't like that. It's giving old lady. It's giving British old lady. But Yoonche? This is Yoonche's era. I'm sorry, but she's eating it up. This blonde, I love it on her. Okay, Sophia and Laura in this motorcycle is kind of giving me Blackpink. They're kind of giving me Jen Lisa vibes. Okay, I think my favorite part of choreography is definitely where they're twerking. I think I like that better than the pinkies up. I don't know. Okay, the dolls. Protect the dolls. The dolls are here. Okay, Sophia with the sword. Yoonche again. She's definitely going off my bias list. Like, okay, these wigs. I don't like these wigs. These bobs, I'm not feeling them. But I do like the idea of all of them having the same hair. Like, that's something I really liked about K-pop, especially during second gen. If you know, after school, they were the girls that did that. Like, they all had the same wig. And so I like seeing that in a group again. Okay, so initial reactions after watching the music video. I like this song so much better than their last release, which was called, I don't even know the name of that song because I didn't even listen to it. Honestly, I didn't. What I heard on Twitter was enough for me not to want to listen to it. But I definitely like it better than that. Is it my favorite KATSEYE release? No. I think I'm in agreement with everyone else who says that Game Boy and Gabriella were like their best releases. I think the problem with KATSEYE right now is that ever since the success of Gnarly, I think that the producers are trying to chase that same formula. And so the songs that they've been pushing out lately seem to fit all within the same mold. And unfortunately, I think the reason why Gnarly did so well was because of the choreography and just how viral it went on TikTok. And even though technically the lyrics are awful, I think the girls were able to sell it just with the choreography alone. But unfortunately, I don't think that's something that you can replicate release after release. And I think that the problem that KATSEYE is having right now is that, they're trying to repeat the same formula, but the fans are obviously tired of it. I'm pretty sure the girls are tired of it too, because it's like, I think I saw this clip of an interview where they were like talking about their recent music. And I don't know, I think it was Laura who was kind of being shady about it. If I find a clip, I'll probably insert it here.
What even is that pop song? What do you make? What even is this from outer space?
Even know. I don't know, sis.
It must be so funny when people say, so what kind of music do you make? And you're like, fuck if I know.
Everything. We make music.
No, literally.
I just think that they're kind of like over it too. And it's really unfortunate because like when KATSEYE came out, I think part of the appeal about them is that, that they all bring inspiration from so many different walks of life. And even within this music that inspires them, right? I think that that was the most beautiful thing about KATSEYE. How unique each of the member is and the story that they all bring, right? And so for me, I liked what KATSEYE was giving in the beginning, and even with Gabriella, how they were allowing Daniela to shine a little bit more on that song because it was more Latin influence, right? And she's Latina, and so they gave her more lines, and she sang in Spanish, right? I like that. I wish they followed that formula, right? Like, give us another song that has Korean, right? That has Korean in it, and then Yoonche could take the lead on that. Give us a song that Laura can really shine vocally. And it doesn't have to necessarily be tied to her cultural identity. It doesn't have to be stereotypical, like, let's give her a Bollywood song. No, but you know, like, songs where each member can shine individually while still being in a group setting, you know, like, I feel like that's what KATSEYE should be focusing on. Instead of giving us these songs that are just meant to stay on the internet and never leave the internet. I know that there have been people boycotting this comeback. And unfortunately, boycotts don't really work in K-pop. As an XOL, as a fan of a lot of groups in SM, I think I know this a little too well that boycotts don't work, unfortunately. But you know, that doesn't mean that you should stop by all means. No, obviously, voice the support that you want to give towards Manon. Realistically speaking, boycotts have never really worked out in K-pop. There have been rare occasions where it has worked out, but seeing the way that the company is really trying to, I would say, erase and also remove Manon from the group is very interesting, because wasn't KATSEYE formed around her? Like, wasn't she the member that Hybe was really set on debuting and forming the group around her and forming the image around her? Like, it's so confusing. Like, why have all of this hype built around her and the importance of her to then throw her away and push her away? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, seeing as how even in the documentary things were framed to make her seem one way, right? And then just like everything else that has happened since the girls debuted, it's very interesting, because it's like, you would think that because Manon is the most popular member and because she was the member that KATSEYE was built around, that the company would handle the situation a lot differently and give her more favoritism. It's very interesting to see the complete opposite of where it's like she keeps being put on hiatus and she keeps being pulled away from projects and not performing with the rest of the girls. And obviously some of those instances were out of their control because she, you know, either had an injury or had to take time away for mental health awareness. That's completely valid. But some of the instances where she's been excluded from group promotions or group activities, even though she's perfectly fine, it's very suspicious. And this is coming from someone who, like, again, when I saw the KATSEYE documentary, I wasn't the biggest fan of Manon. I wasn't, because the way the documentary was framed, it made it seem like she wasn't as invested in the group as everyone else, right? That was the narrative that was pushed by that documentary. And it's interesting to see that that's the same narrative that Hybe is trying to push to the public right now with Manon's situation. And we all know how Hybe is with media control. Like, we already know, like, everything that went down with New Jeans and everything that was revealed with the various lawsuits, we know that Hybe likes to control the media. I do find it a little bit suspicious when I see the conversations that are occurring online and how they're being handled and what's being spread and the language that's being used, right? Because it's like, say what you want to say. Obviously, not everyone is going to agree, or not everyone is going to like her, or not everyone is going to want her to be in the group. But I feel like the way the discussions are being handled on social media is very interesting. I will say it's very interesting. If the scenario is that Hybe is trying to remove her from the group, and the way of them doing it is by forcing her to take a hiatus, I don't think that's fair, because it's just not fair. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she should be allowed to be part of this comeback because she's a member of KATSEYE. But if it's the case that she needs to take time away, then I respect that. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Like, even the way that she's constantly posting on social media, the way she's constantly appearing in other events. Like, she even went to Coachella and she was in the crowd standing next to Chapel Roan. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if she could attend Coachella, why couldn't she be up on that stage? And so there seems to be a miscommunication that's happening here. And Manon is constantly updating her fans and, you know, thanking them for the support that they're giving out to her. You know, a lot of people have been riling up behind her because they're saying that she is facing the same mistreatment that a lot of Black female artists face in groups, especially in girl groups, right? And so there's been a lot of discussions behind the current hiatus that Manon is in. It's just interesting to see the way that she's handling that hiatus, because usually in K-pop terms, when a member is put on hiatus, they're not updating their social media. You're not seeing them out in the public. Like, a hiatus means that they're literally never going to be seen. When Irene went on hiatus, I didn't see her. When Lucas went on hiatus, like, when so many members have gone on hiatus, it means they're removing themselves from the public. They're not gonna appear, right? But the way that Manon is handling her hiatus is very different from what we usually see in K-pop. And so that's why I feel like what's being talked about is not necessarily what's happening behind the scenes. And I feel like if that is the case, she is more than entitled to handle the hiatus the way that she's currently handling, right? By showing visibility and showing the public that she's perfectly fine, and that possibly this hiatus is more of an internal thing versus her own decision. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just very confusing. Like, it's confusing all around. But I wish her the best, and I hope that at the end of the day, like, the girls are also okay. Because say what you want to say, I feel like when you are part of a girl group and you have been in something like KATSEYE was, where they were part of a survival show and then later became a girl group, I feel like there is a bond that is created between those people, right? Some would say it's survival's guilt, you know, something traumatic, like they're all trauma bonding, right? Other people will say, well, they're sisters, they're best friends, right? Unfortunately, you can't really say that's the case, because it's been proven time and time again, not just in K-pop, but like actually with like girl groups in general, or just groups in general, that it might seem that they're like friendly in front of the camera, so behind the scenes they're like fighting. Like, if you think about the girl groups and why most of them have either disbanded or they're no longer making music, it's because there was tension within the group. Like, think of 3LW, think of Spice Girls, think of Girlicious, think of Danity Kane, think of Destiny's Child, like, think of the Supremes, like taking it all back to old school, right? I would say the Supremes were the template for girl groups. And so why a group eventually ends up not working is because of the tension within the members themselves. And so I'm not gonna be the one to say, oh, they're all best friends and there's nothing happening internally where, you know, they're not agreeing with each other and that they're not fighting. I'm not gonna say that, because that's not the reality. That's not the reality at all. Like, let's be realistic. But I do hope that whatever's happening between them, that, you know, they're able to like rise above it in the end, and not in a selfless way, but in a way that's gonna eventually be the best for the group. Whatever that happens, or however that turns out to be, I just hope that they're all okay in the process, and that it's not a situation where their relationship is being affected, because we already saw how even in the documentary, how they were trying to turn the girls against each other, right? And so it's like that was one of the main criticisms about the reality show. And so to have that same behavior be repeated even after they debuted is horrible. And I hope that that's not the case. Okay, Yoonchae leading this, of course, because she's Korean. Megan is eating with these vocals. Oh, I love how they're harmonizing. It sounds so good. Notice how Daniela is not singing. I'm not even being shady, but just notice that. Just notice that. So I know a lot of people are confused as to why they were invited as special guests. I think it makes sense because like K-pop Demon Hunters is like the biggest thing that happened this past year. I think the reason why they came out is because Hybe is trying to really push that concept of KATSEYE sort of being a K-pop group. And so it makes sense that they have some element of K-pop or what people know as K-pop in their Coachella set. And obviously it just bridges that connection. And really it's like a great thing to have KATSEYE associated with these women. Like they just won an Oscar. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a good look all around. And obviously, I'm glad that Yoonchae was the one that started the song because, you know, she is the Korean member in KATSEYE. And so I'm like, yes, give Yoonchae her flowers. Give her her moment. And she's looking so good in this blonde hair. Okay, Yoonchae ate that. Based on those two performances that I saw, I think that the girls gave a really strong vocal performance and as always a strong dance performance. You know, I think that they're really great performers on stage and I wasn't necessarily worried that they wouldn't give that without Manon. I mean, we have seen the girls perform without her. We have seen the girls perform as a fivesome with her, but excluding other members. And so to me, it was never about KATSEYE being able to pull performance without one less member, but more so about would they be able to handle a stage as big as Coachella? And obviously, you know, they were able to pull that off very easily. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future looks like for them. I just hope that the music gets better. I think that's the one thing that's really holding me back from really getting invested into this group. As much as they look great visually and as much as they are strong performers, if the music is not hitting, it's just not gonna keep my attention. And I think for now, chasing after viral moments is gonna help the group, but in the long term, when you think about groups and their music and the legacy of their music, there aren't many groups in K-pop whose music stand the test of time. And I think it would be very unfortunate for KATSEYE to fall into that category, especially when they have so much talent inside that group. Like, you know what I mean? It's like to have someone like Laura who is so talented vocally, and not just as a vocalist, but also as a producer, as a songwriter, as a DJ. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the producers could do so much better with the talent that they have inside of the group. And I just hope that in the future we get to see their talents being used a lot better. If we want to talk about long-term success and longevity and kind of like the impact that their music is going to have in the overall landscape of music, I think that they're going to have to give us a lot more than what they're giving. But, you know, again, I wish the girls the best of luck. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens because, you know, you can think one thing is going to happen, but the thing about the music industry and the thing about K-pop too is like you end up being surprised by what happens. And so I can't really say that something's going to turn out one way because you're just gonna be surprised. Like that's how it is. And so definitely make sure to leave your opinions in the comments. Are you currently upset with the situation that's happening with Manon? Do you want to see KATSEYE come back as a full group, or are you kind of like okay with them not being a full group? Do you like the new release? Do you think it's trash? You know, all opinions are welcome as long as you're being respectful, because, you know, I think you're all entitled to feel the way you feel and no one's opinion is better than the other. But definitely make sure to sound off in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.